Well, in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about firearms and some of the accessories that make for a good hunt for young children, for small frame people, beginning hunters, and women. One of the guns that we found that works really well for us is the 20 gauge Charles Daly. The 20 gauge is always a good option. This is the youth model. It's a great entry level gun. It's got a youth stock, so it's got a shorter length of pull, a short barrel, and we've killed a lot of turkeys over the years with this gun. It's a great place to start if you're looking for a 20 gauge to get started with a new hunter. We also have stepped up. We have the Remington 1187. Again, this is a youth model gun, so it has a shorter stock, shorter barrel. I actually like to use this gun myself because it's easy to carry through the woods in ducking under branches and things like that. It makes it a lot easier that way. What you find with the semi-automatic, which is nice, is the gas chamber has a little bit less recoil in the gun because of that, and it's also great to have a fast cycle to follow up with extra shots for a little more experienced hunter as well. So this is a good option, just a little bit more money than the pump is. And then lastly, we have the Stevens 301 410. It's a single shot, but it's become quite a popular gun for people. Experienced hunters just wanting to have that extra challenge, but we found that it's a great gun because it's very light to carry, it's very light to hold, it's very simple, it has very little recoil whatsoever, but it's a great gun all around. All three of these guns have killed turkeys, and there's a lot of other guns, but this is what we found that have worked best for us in our scenarios. Well, again, a couple accessories we want to talk about that make things much more comfortable for new hunters and young children is we all know that the weight of the gun can be a very challenging thing to tackle, especially with young arms that aren't strong, able to hold it up, especially if you're in a situation where you can't really rest it on your knees. The perfect tree isn't always there. So we found a couple of things that work well for us. And again, I'll just kind of work through from the cheapest to the most expensive. The cheapest is just these simple little shooting sticks that you can get. These Allen company makes these. You can get it from Walmart, and they're just about 10 bucks, and they have these little tabs you can adjust, and you can change the height of it and put it exactly where you need. It's nice because you can set it out there at the fore end of the gun and can help hold some of the weight off while you're waiting for that turkey to come in. The second is the Primo's trigger stick, and it's just kind of a more advanced version of what that other shooting stick is. It has the nice trigger here that you can pull and adjust the height, which is great for on the move. So if you have to adjust when that turkey's coming through, you can change it and adjust it at any place and at any time just to make it at right level, exactly where you need to place the shot. The last here is the Caldwell Field Pod, and it's an adjustable tripod, and the nice thing about this is it has all kinds of different adjustments you can make to adjust for the length of the gun and the angle. We use this especially in the blind because it's nice because you can just set the entire gun up on here and it holds all the weight, and then it pivots around and you can put it exactly where you need it to be, and it again helps kids and helps new hunters also take some of the recoil off of the shot as well, because as that sits right down into this yoke, a lot of the recoil is just held in place with the tripod. So another great option just for people that may struggle with holding up the weight of the gun while they make their shot. The next thing I want to talk about is optics. There's a couple different choices that you have out there that we have found that work well. This one is just simply just a true glowed single bead that you just attach at the end. When you buy it from the kit, it has a little adhesive thing on there. Just put it on there. It's just a nice way to light up that bead at the end, makes it a little easier to see, and especially in the dark timber, and it's very easy for people to identify getting their cheek down on the gun and just being able to see that green dot at the end of the shotgun to know that they're pointed in the right direction. There's also a lot of other kinds of sights that have a rear and a front sight on it. We like this one here. Can't remember what the name of the sight is off the top of my head, but it's a dead ringer sight. I think it's a gobbler buster or something like that. I'll put that underneath here once I find out. But it's very nice because it has a circular rear sight and then a center dot to the front, and you have to line that up, and it makes it great, especially just for being able to make sure they're right on target and have the ability to pull off the shot that they want exactly where they want to be aiming. The last that we have here on this 410 is just a simple little true glow red dot sight. It's a great little sight to have because it's a nice chance that if their cheek is not exactly on the stock, or maybe they're so small that they can't quite put their cheek on the stock, All you have to do is just put that red dot exactly where you want to aim and pull the trigger, and it's going to work every time. And so it's also nice because you can change the brightness settings on it. It's very nice to just tell that kid or that new hunter, whatever, just put the red dot right on that turkey's neck and pull the trigger. It's very self-explanatory. It's very easy to get done, and it's a nice little solid sight for putting on a single shot. Lastly, I'll mention that another great addition is to use the Beartooth Products has a comb riser. It's just a little neoprene sleeve that fits on over the butt of the gun. And it's nice because they have all these different foam pads that you can choose the thickness of the height, and it gives children an opportunity to have any kind of height that's comfortable for them to be able to put their cheek down on the stock and be able to see lined up with the sights that are there. So another great, simple, easy to buy product to add on to your gun as well. One of the things I'll also add is that the Limb Saver recoil pad is a great thing to add on to the gun, especially with turkey loads. You're dealing with a little more recoil, and it's a great way just to soften down the felt recoil. It's also great just for having on all the time for target shooting and things like that. Again, one of the things that you want to do is make the gun as comfortable as possible for new hunters, young children. So it's a good addition to have the Limb Saver recoil pad put on there. I want to talk a little bit about ammo and some of the ammo that we have found that works best in our scenarios that we've done with our own kids and with our first-time hunters. And there's a lot of different ammo choices out there. They really all work well, but what we found that works the best for us is a couple things that Federal makes. The first is the Federal Heavyweight Turkey Mag Shock. It's a little bit older shell. It still can be found, but it's really nice. It's actually a 2 3/4 inch shell, and it's a nice load for a younger framed hunter. It doesn't have as much recoil that way. We have these. We like to use them in 7-shot. My daughter Kaylin shot her first turkey with that, and it didn't really recoil all that much, but it still knocked the gobbler down really well, hit him really hard, and so these are really nice shells to work with. It's a nice option. Of course, TSS has really taken off over the last couple years. We use the TSS in the 20 gauge in the 3-inch shell, not because we are taking really far away shots, but we just like the ability to hit a turkey really hard, almost like you would with a 12 gauge in a normal turkey shot, and it just helps out just to pack a punch shooting towards turkeys. It may end up being a little bit farther than you think, or if the shot is maybe a little bit off, those couple pellets that you know are going to get into that bird are still going to hit them really hard and drop them, especially with people that maybe are not as comfortable with a gun or just have a hard time aiming with like new hunters or with kids in that sense. And the last that we use is the Federal 410 shot. Again, that's TSS as well. And the same reason that we use that is because the TSS shot, being more dense, really packs a punch. Kaylin shot her turkey this last spring with that, and it really dropped him right in its tracks. So it's a great setup, great opportunity to have a gun that has very little recoil for somebody that's very nervous about the recoil of a gun. So it's a great place to begin. All of these shot shells, again, like we said, work well. There's many others on the market that work just as fine. It's just about what works best for your young hunter or your new hunter. We have found this. Here's a little tip for you, that when we do all of our target shooting, we never shoot turkey loads, especially with the kids or the first-time hunters. We just use light, high brass, just bird shot. It makes the shooting a lot more fun. You can use a smaller size shell in that case, and it helps just to build comfort. But then when the hunt comes, we put those turkey loads in there, and they never know the difference because they're so excited about the hunt opportunity. So just a couple ammo choices here, a couple things to consider when choosing ammo to match your gun and match your hunter. The last thing I want to talk about is hearing protection. This is an absolute must, especially for kids. Usually they're not so much scared about the kick of the gun as much as they are the noise of the gun, and this is a great tool to have. We like to use just the Walker's Game Ear Alpha 360. There's a lot of other hearing muffs out there that you can use. Walker makes a lot of different ones as well, a lot of different prices. We don't really care about how well the quality is as far as how many microphones it has or anything like that. What we want is just something that I can whisper into their ear as we're setting up when that turkey's coming in, but also it's going to protect them when that shot goes off and make them very, very comfortable with the sound of that, especially in target shooting and things like that. It's another great thing just to boost that confidence. We also found that if we take other people, if I take my youngest daughter with us out in the blind, even though she's not shooting, you don't want that percussion going off inside the blind to hurt her ears, and so we try to use these as much as we can. So anybody with sensitive hearing, anybody that may be nervous about the sound of the gun, this is a great place to go. Also, it's a great tip just if you have these and you turn them on, you'd be surprised how much you hear in the spring woods. Even if you're not really concerned about the sound of the gun going off yourself, you may want to just wear these and carry these in your vest to wear at first light. You'd be surprised how many gobbles you can hear on the roost that you can't hear with your normal ears, and it's a really big help in that way. But hearing protection is very important. It's one of those things that really makes the hunter much more comfortable, and I can't stress enough the importance of using good hearing protection for kids and for young hunters. Well, hopefully you found some of these things helpful getting your new hunter or your young hunter out into the woods and being a little more comfortable and being a little more successful this year. We appreciate you watching this video. Thank you for checking in with Davis Family Hunts, and we hope that you have a great spring out in God's great outdoors. Take care.